So, if you were a teenage boy in the 70s, I have little doubt in my mind that you know who this lady is. In this video, I'll share a few memories that I have of Barbie, as well as provide an update regarding what she's been up to lately. My first recollection of anything related to Barbie Benton was an album, this one here to be exact, that my friend Dave Nilsson had. I don't remember any of the songs on it, I really don't. But I am aware that Barbie had a number of country music hits in the mid-70s. In particular, there was a song called Brass Buckles, which went all the way to number 5 on the US country charts. Over the course of the next decade or so, Barbie would release 7 albums, including a greatest hits collection in 1976. Her most recent album, titled Kinetic Voyage, was released in 1988, and it made a surprising hard right turn and shifted gears from country to new age music. So with all this said, I've got to admit that Barbie's music career wasn't really where she caught my eye. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know that TV was the medium where I truly became more familiar with lots of different actors' work, and Barbie Benton was no exception. I watched her on Hee Haw from time to time and noticed Ms. Benton both performing comedy and music on that show. However, in my mind, it was her work on many of the awesome Aaron Spelling TV shows of the 70s that made her something of a pop culture icon. Seriously, I lost track of how many times Barbie Benton was on Fantasy Island. It had to be like 8 or 9 times during that show's run. That show, along with The Love Boat, aired one after another on Saturday nights here in the US, and they were must-see television for me. I loved the anthology format of both shows, the great actors and actresses that would appear on them, and I certainly didn't mind when Barbie Benton showed up from time to time. So I mentioned Love Boat. I believe that she made 4 appearances on that show. Plus there was Charlie's Angels, Vegas, Chips, Matt Houston. Well, you get it. The list goes on and on. Barbie was very much in demand as a guest star on primetime television. So much so that she was even a guest performer on one of my favorite annual events, the 1980 edition of Circus of the Stars.
Sunday, watch your favorite entertainers risk their lives in 2 fantastic hours of thrills and spills and danger. The 5th annual Circus of the Stars, Sunday night.
This is CBS.
And truthfully, it wasn't until years later that I became aware that Ms. Benton's first brush with fame came from being Hugh Hefner's steady gal for 7 years beginning in 1969. From what I understand, she also made a few appearances in his magazine. However, if you're watching this video to see those pictures, well, you've come to the wrong place. That said, I will share a couple of facts from that particular period in Barbie's life. The first being that when the 42-year-old Hefner asked Barbie out for the first time, her response to him was, "I don't know, I've never dated anyone over 24 before." To which he responded, "That's okay, neither have I." Also interesting is that despite her long relationship with Hef, Benton was never showcased as one of the magazine's featured Playmates of the Month. In 1979, Barbie married real estate developer George Gradow and made a decision to take a step back from the entertainment industry. She didn't completely disappear. Semi-retirement is probably the best way to describe Barbie in the late 80s and early 90s, as she and George raised their 2 children. More recently, Barbie has appeared as herself on a handful of reality TV shows, including The Girls Next Door, Extreme Cribs, and $1 Million Rooms. At this point in life, it seems like Barbie is extremely content to bask in the genuine goodness that comes from friends and family. Although her children are grown now, they remain a really close family, and Barbie and George recently celebrated, get this, their 40th wedding anniversary. That's really quite an accomplishment these days. Congratulations to both of them. Additionally, Barbie has dedicated some of her time and energy to help advocate for greater awareness around worldwide reef conservation. In 2006, she was honored by the International Reef Check Foundation for her efforts. And even more recently, a Facebook page has been set up to advocate for an appearance by Barbie on Dancing with the Stars. If you're interested in learning more about that, just type Barbie's name and Dancing with the Stars in the Facebook search box and you'll be able to like and follow this particular page. Despite the noble efforts to get Barbie out of retirement and onto Dancing with the Stars, something tells me that she really enjoys her life now. Sure, the fanfare and acclaim from the public has died down quite a bit, but I've got to believe that her life now feels so much more real and authentic than the time that she spent in the limelight decades ago. So that's it. What do you think? Were you a fan of Barbi Benton's? Was it her music, or television appearances, or something else? Let me know in the comment section below, and while you're at it, I would appreciate it if you clicked on the thumbs up icon and maybe even considered subscribing to my channel. I talk about music, movies, and television, mostly from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. You know, the good stuff. But most importantly, and as always, thank you so very much for watching.